So one day I decided to go to Walmart and get a can of Flex Seal and a few sheets of cardboard, and then I headed home to build a cardboard boat. I had the stuff and I was ready to build. I cut the sheets so I could form them into a boat. I then took my duct tape and I duct taped all around it. I then flipped it over and duct taped that side. I got the base for the boat and positioned it in. I put some duct tape on it, flipped it over again, and put another piece of cardboard on it for support. Now it was ready for the Flex Seal, so I took it to my backyard to be sprayed. I sprayed all around the seams and in every corner until I was done and ready to test it in the creek. So I carried it over to my brother's truck, put it in, and then we headed to the creek. I put on some old shoes in case the boat sank, and then I headed to the creek with my boat. I headed down there and then I picked out my launching area. I picked it out and I put it in the water. I got in the boat and it was pretty sturdy. But it wouldn't move, so I tried paddling. And when that didn't work, I got out, dumped the water out, and put the boat in deeper water. I got in again, and it crumpled.
Oh, God! Oh! He's going under, he's going under! Oh.
My feet were soaked, so I got out, got mad, and threw the boat. And sure enough, then it started to float. It went away, and then I threw a rock. Don't get triggered, we chased it down. So one day I went back to Walmart to retry my failed cardboard boat. I got Gorilla Tape, some duct tape, some cardboard, and bubble wrap. And then I headed home. I also ended up getting this cart because it was fun. I got home and started building my new design. It was going to be a lot more boxy this time, and my plan was to put 2 boxes together. I used Gorilla Tape to tape the seams of the boxes, and then I put them together. And then I flipped it over to tape the bottom. And after that, I cut out the middle piece that was inside the box. And then I covered the whole bottom of the boat in duct tape and ended up using the whole roll. And then I covered it in bubble wrap so it would float, I guess. And it was done. So I put the boat in my brother's truck and then we headed to the creek. We got there and I got my oar out of the truck and then we headed down. And I was pretty sure my new design would work. We got down, I took off my shoes, and then I put my boat in the water. And my feet got pretty muddy.
Dang.
I got in the boat, but couldn't quite balance my weight. And ended up tipping over.
Even it out. Oh!
So I got up, got the water out of the boat, and tried again. But this time, I fell even harder. So I got out and, well, I tried again. Yeah, it was a pretty big fail. I'm done with boats. I dragged the boat up, hit it a few times, and then for some reason I got in the cold water, ran around, and threw a rock, and dragged the boat home. So one day I went to Walmart to retry my last 2 failed cardboard boat attempts. I got duct tape, Gorilla Tape, and 5 sheets of cardboard, and then I headed home to build it. I felt confident I could make it work. I set the stuff down and began to build. I cut the first sheet and then folded it into a half boat. I then taped up the seams and cut the flaps off. Then I flipped it over and taped up the bottom. And then flipped it back over and pushed another piece into it. I taped them together and then cut the flaps off. Then flipped it over and taped the bottoms together. And then put another piece of cardboard on the bottom for support. And next I covered the entire bottom of the boat in duct tape to make it waterproof. It was looking pretty good and I felt pretty confident. I added a piece of cardboard and it was done. 3rd time's a charm. So I put the boat in the truck and some flippers and then we took it down to the creek. I walked down there and put my boat in the water. I then got in, pushed myself off, and used my flippers to row myself. And it worked.
It's working!
I rowed myself out to the middle.
Haha, losers! This is to everyone who said I couldn't make it. I'm in a cardboard boat now.
And then I rowed even further and laid down.
I'm just chilling, bro.
I then decided to see how far I could row it.
Don't know when I met you, but I met you.
I made it pretty far, but the water started to get in and I started to sink.
It's sinking.
It went under and it was pretty freezing.
You know, my boat may have sank, but at the end of the day, I'd call this a success.
I then dragged the boat up and took it home.